Hello, I am Scott Paul. Today I'll be discussing addressing human error, a technical perspective. A little bit of background and motivation. According to the Small Business Association, there are 33 million small businesses with less than 500 employees. This makes up 61 million employees, and that's only 46% of the total workforce. The rest are made up from large organizations and government entities. In 2023, there were more than 3,200 data breach cases, which affected 353 million individuals. These include breaches, leaks, and other exposures. IBM states that the cost of a data breach in 2024 is somewhere around 4.45 million. In a research study by Stanford University and Tession, they state that 88% of breaches are from human error. So if you look at the grid on the right, this is a grid by Gardner on spend of security and risk management, and they're projecting there's $215 million spending in 2024. So when you look at each year, we're spending more and more on security, and each year we have more and more data breaches. Something has to change. So I began my research doing a literary review of what's out there in this area, and what I found that most agree that humans are the weak link. Alhida and team, in an article, A Systematic Review of Multi-Perspectives on Human Cybersecurity Behavior, states that most scholars believe human errors are the main reason for cybersecurity weakness. So why? This has been analyzed and modeled in various studies, and the same things come up, motivation, not enough experience, not enough training, their mental state at the time they made the error. It almost boils down every time to training, awareness training. So this is where I see the gap is. I think we need more targeted initiatives towards the failure, which includes training, but that's not the only piece of it. So what if there was a software tool that could point you towards the strategy to address the human failure? Good security consultants do this today when they come into organizations. Most small businesses and large companies don't have time to deal with these kind of things. They're out there just trying to make the money. I did look around a little bit, and there are some other tools out there for human factor decisions, but none of them are cybersecurity focused. So just understanding why is only part of the solution. So my research question is this: can a software tool produce actionable results to facilitate targeting, training, and development of security policy and procedures? The research design goes like this. Basically, we're going to gather human failures from recent past security incidents and breaches, things like weak passwords, configuration mistakes, poor coding. We're gonna review some more of the research that we've gone through, and if you look at Steinmetz and team, the article "Performing Social Engineering: A Qualitative Study on Information Security Deceptions," you get a pretty good list of failures for the study. Then we're going to interview security and incident response consultants, and we're going to get what they're seeing out there in the field live as well. Additionally, we're going to stash a couple of the consultants aside, and we're going to use them for the scoring of the research. Then we're going to flip sides, and we're going to go gather the best practices from security frameworks, things like OWASP and NIST, COBIT, ISO 27001. And then lastly, we're going to write a software tool. We're going to codename it, control it. What this tool is going to do is it's going to match human failures to controls and strategies. And then we're going to give actionable information to help resolve the failure when you feed it into the tool. So what are the objectives? Analyze the completeness of the tool and its ability to provide guidance. Analyze whether the recommendations for the tool could have prevented known human failures. Analyze whether the tool would allow better targeted training and security policy procedure changes. And then lastly, we're going to score this with industry experts and determine the effectiveness and the completeness. Before I go into methodology, let me state the hypothesis. The hypothesis is the Control It tool will provide useful information to create a targeted training and facilitate best practice policy and procedure creation. The methodology itself is pretty straightforward. We're going to take the new software tool and we're going to input human failures and see what responses come out of the tool. If you take a look on the right hand side of the screen, we can go through some examples. So the first one, we've got Sally. Sally's the person who likes to use the same password because she can't remember it. So she uses it on every site she goes to. Well, she used it on MyFitnessPal, which was hacked, and her email and password are out there on the internet. Unfortunately, it's the same one she uses in the office, and they found a backdoor in by using that same password. So we feed that weak password into the control it software, and it comes back with recommendations. Strong password policy recommendation. Also addition of adding MFA. And then lastly, security training on how to use all the above. And if you slide over to the box on the right, you will see references to the NIST standard for digital identity, and you'll see the ISO 27001 standard for access controls. So let's go down to another example. Let's go human failure configuration mistake. So little Johnny was in the office and he was working in the firewall and he accidentally opened up a port he shouldn't have. And just like the internet is known to do, it was found pretty quickly and somebody found a backdoor into the office. So we feed configuration mistake into the tool and it comes back with recommendations on change control policy and configuration management. You know, things like impact analysis and dependency analysis, all are important here. And then if you go over to the right hand side under references, you will then see that there's the NIST standard for configuration management and the ISO standard for configuration management. Let's take a look at the third example. Billy is getting upset with his boss at work and he's going to leave, but he's going to leave him a little bit of a prize before he does. So he puts in a little time bomb that happens 6 months later to release a malware on the network at his office. 6 months later, sure enough, time bomb goes off and they start deleting files off of the network share. So what do? We enter poor coding into the device. We get recommendations to control it, secure development policy, code review, and things like dynamic and static scanning. And then if you slide over to the references, you'll then get your industry best practices like OWASP, Secure Coding Best Practice, NIST, Secure Coding Software Development Framework, and ISO 27001, Secure Coding. My expected results are that the Control It tool will provide the expected results and be useful driving security best practices in response to human failure. Usage of such a tool could allow for better targeted training and security policy procedure design and changes. These are the references that I used for this proposed research, and this is what I have prepared for you today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the discussion and I will answer them accordingly. Thank you.